Not happy where you're working and thinking of moving to a new company? Here's a couple of quick points you might want to think about before you do. The first topic we're going to talk about when you're going to a new company or you're going to interview for a new company is obviously pay. You want to know what you're going to get paid to do the job. How much do they pay? When do they pay? What are the pay periods? Are you paid weekly, bi-weekly, 1st and 15th, monthly? Every company's different. Now, generally there's 3 types of pay for the OTR drivers. The first one is mileage. You're paid practical miles to drive the truck. So if you drive from here to Atlanta, it's X amount of miles and you are paid so much per mile to do that. Now, the industry standard right now for van drivers is anywhere from about 48 cents to 60 cents a mile. Flatbed drivers make a little bit more. They're usually up around 55 cents to 65 cents a mile. And those are company drivers. Owner operators, those costs vary, are a little different. They're a little bit more. You want to know when you're getting paid by the mile, are you being paid practical miles? Are you being paid hub miles? Are you being paid Google miles? How are you getting paid from one place to the next? Practical miles are generally paid to you from address to address. So from one address where you pick up to the address where you drop off, that's where you get paid those miles. City center miles are what you're paid from one city center to the next. So if you're going from Toronto to Atlanta, basically they take from downtown Toronto to downtown Atlanta, and that's the miles you get paid. Those aren't the best miles, because if you pick up 10 miles outside of Toronto and you're delivering 10 miles past Atlanta, but you're still in the Atlanta area, you've just given away 20 miles for free. Generally, I don't like that. I won't work that way. The next way to get paid is percentage. Basically, it's you work for a company, they pay you percentage. If a load pays, and we're just going to use round numbers here, if a load pays $1,000, the average percentage, if you don't own the trailer and you just own the truck on a truck drive, on an owner operator, is 75%. So if the load pays $1,000, you make $750. Now that's when you have to start doing math. You have to calculate, okay, X amount of miles, this is how many miles it is, or this is how many days it's going to take me. Is it worth $750 to go here? Or if I'm paid by the mile, will I make more going that 1,000 miles, which would be about a day and a half worth of driving? Is that worth it? You have to make that decision. Remember, when you're paid percentage, generally your empty miles are not paid. So you'll get $750 to go from Toronto to Atlanta, but if your reload is somewhere in Georgia, you're gonna go another 400 miles empty. You have to eat those miles. It's not generally the best way to get paid. It's not the best way to work. I prefer, myself personally, I prefer to get paid by the mile. That way, every time my wheel turns, I know exactly how much I'm making and I know exactly how much it's costing me. The third way the industry now is going, and they're experimenting with it, there's a couple of companies in Canada that are trying this out, and it's paying their drivers by the hour, their OTR drivers. And what it is every hour that you're driving, in combination with every hour that you're on duty, they will pay you by the hour. Now, I was able to find out 2 companies that are doing it. One pays $22 an hour and one's paying $27 an hour. So if you take the 2 of them, I think you average it out, you come out to about $25 an hour. So you're gonna make $25 an hour for every hour that you're on duty. That's on duty, loading, on duty, offloading, and combination of that, you're driving. Up to, you know, however many hours on duty you're allowed to be that day if you're in Canada or the US. I don't have a statistic, or I don't know if that's good or bad. I've never done it. I've never tried it. And like I said, there's a couple of companies in Canada that are trying it, but there's no real solid data on whether that's worth it or not. So that's one of those things I think that's going to be forthcoming. We'll have to wait to see in the industry how that works. The next area that you're going to want to talk about when talking with the company is benefits. Now, if you're a company driver, you want to know right up front, do you have benefits? If so, are they included? Does the company pay your benefits? And what do those cover? Is it a bare minimum benefit package that's not going to give you really a whole lot, and you're going to have to either pump up to make it better? Generally, most companies, reputable companies these days, have a benefit package, and most of them are pretty good. I know that the company I'm with, their benefit package for their employees is very good. If you're an owner-operator, Generally, unfortunately, part of the business is you have to pay for your benefits. But if you get on with a good company, you get a better rate because, you know, the insurance company is working through the big company. I know that my benefit package is very good as per the industry standard. And I know that the rate that I'm paying is below what I would be paying if I just went out and got benefits on my own. But make sure with your benefits, for example, I'm married, I have 5 kids. If I'm a company driver, does my benefit package cover my entire family? And what does it cover? Eyes, dental, medical, prescriptions, all of it. And find out what they cover and how much they cover. Because certain things, eye coverage has a limit. Dental has a limit. Find out what those limits are. You know, these are simple questions that you really want to ask before you go. You don't want to find out afterwards, you know, and be stuck with a bill. The third area that I would look at, and I do this when I've changed companies, before I even step foot in the building or talk to somebody in person, I showed up at the new trucking company. I park my truck and I take a walk around their yard. I look at their equipment. I look at their company trucks and I look at their trailers. And if possible, I will get into their shop. I will stick my head in the shop and see if they've got one on site, see what kind of operation they've got in there. I want to see, are they running 2-year-old trucks, 3-year-old trucks, which is fine. If you're a company driver and they've got a 3-year-old truck, those are, you know, that's okay. But if they're running 7 or 8, 9-year-old trucks, I would shy away from that. That's a red flag for me. Same with trailers. If you look at their trailers, now, let me just say, I don't mind if their trailers are a little bit older. As long as they're well maintained, I got no problem pulling an older trailer down the road. But if you can take a walk around and just take a quick look and get in between a bunch of their trailers, vans, reefers, whatever, and check and just take a quick look and open them up, take a look inside, take a look at the wheels, take a look at the tires, take a look, stick your head between and try to look down between wheel seals. Just look at little teeny things like that. It'll give you an indication whether this fleet is being maintained well. If it is, then don't worry about it, carry on. If it's not, that should be a red flag. Chances are, that trailer or that truck is going to leave you on the side of the road. And even as a company driver, if you're not getting, if your wheels aren't turning, you're not getting paid. Always check the maintenance on the equipment. Check the age of the equipment. I don't want to be driving, if I'm a company driver, I don't want to be driving a 7 or 8-year-old truck. I would like something that's 2 to 3 years old, no older than that. Chances are that truck is going to have warranty. Chances are that truck is going to be in better shape. It's not going to be mileaged out. The motor is not going to be tired. The tires aren't going to be worn off and floppy. The next area, now this is an area that some people kind of don't think about, but I look at dispatchers. When I'm talking to my dispatcher or I'm talking to a dispatcher, or if I'm going to a company, the first thing I ask them is, have you ever driven a truck? This dispatcher is going to be in a position to dispatch me from this place to this place. But in between this place and this place, if there's problems or if I run into trouble and I need assistance, if you've never been on the road or you've never turned a wheel, then you don't know what I'm going through. You don't know how I feel. You don't know emotionally what I'm going through, and you don't know the stress that I'm under. If you've driven a truck and you've been in that position, then you're more likely to be of assistance to me. You'll be able to help me. Now, that's not to say that all dispatchers need to be truck or ex-truck drivers, but I've worked for a company or companies where the dispatchers were all ex-truck drivers. They were either older guys that were at the end of their trucking career and they were winding it down and they were getting close to retirement. And those are the guys that I found that made the best dispatchers. Now, on the other hand, it can backfire on you too, because when you're having a lazy day and you don't feel like working and you call your dispatcher and go, oh, I don't think I can do that, he's going to turn to you and go, oh, yes, you can. Yeah, I know you can do it because I can do it. And it's like, okay, so just remember that if you've got a truck driver for a dispatcher. The next area that we're going to talk about is when you first make initial contact with your new company. Generally, for the most part, you're going to be talking to a recruiter. Now, I'll be honest with you, most recruiters that I've ever run into are usually ex-truck drivers that have a real good flair for sales. They're salesmen. That's all a recruiter is. He's a salesman. He is going to sell that company to you. It is his job to put butts in seats. That's his job. Is if they've got empty trucks, they want drivers in those trucks. The company's not making a penny if there's 5 empty trucks sitting out in the yard. Recruiters' jobs are to put drivers in trucks. And a lot of them are going to tell you things that just aren't true. Now, the longer you've been trucking, you're going to be able to see through it. Everybody knows that if a recruiter promises you 4,000 miles a week every week for the rest of your life, that's smoke. That's not going to happen. I've never in my life seen a company where you run 4,000 miles a week every single week for the rest of your life. But you need to pick through what he's saying. Again, remember, it's his job to get you into the truck. When he's interviewing you, turn it around, interview him. Ask him questions. Ask him the questions about the equipment. Ask him the questions about the trucks. Ask him the questions about the ownership. Ask him how long this company's been in business. A lot of this you can get online yourself, but ask him. Find out. I like to ask for pay stubs. If you're going to promise me something, show me. I want to see it. When I came to this company and the last company, I walked out to the yard before I came in. I got 3 trucks. I picked 3 random company trucks. And I said, I want us to black out their names. I want to see their pay stubs. I want to see what's on that pay stub. I want to see the miles they're running. I want to see where they're going. I want to see what they're paid for. Drops, picks, tarps, offloads, multi-drops. Do you get paid for extras? I want to see all of that. And I want to see it in black and white. I also want to see deductions. Because I'm an owner-operator, I had 3 owner-operators trucks. I want to see what's being deducted off my paycheck. I want to see what's coming off that statement. I want to know. I don't want any surprises at the, after I've been working here a few months and all of a sudden something shows up on there and I'm being deducted for $400. Well, what is that? And it did happen to me. I ended up having to pay for something that I wasn't aware. Now, shame on me. It was in my contract and I didn't read that. Read your contract. But I would have picked it off if I would have read the contract. But I want to see all of the deductions. I don't want any surprises. As an owner-operator, my benefits come off. My buy-down comes off. There's no insurance. I don't pay plate, stickers, or insurance. And that's another question you're going to ask your recruiter if you're an owner-operator. Do we pay plate, stickers, and insurance? But I wanted to see everything that came off. And once I saw that and it was shown to me and presented to me, I was satisfied. Generally, when you're paid on percentage, you will be paying a portion of your plates, a portion of your insurance, stickers, IFTA, your New York Hut sticker. A good portion of those you're going to be eating the cost on when you're paid percentage. When you're paid by the mile, generally, I don't pay any of that. I pay my fuel bill. I pay my IFTA on the quarterly. I pay any shop bills that I have if I put my truck into the shop here, and that's just about it. And I pay my truck payment, and that's good. I like that. It's simple. There's no hidden fees. There's no hidden anything. Now, recruiters today actually have a harder job than they did, say, 8, 10, 12 years ago. Because we have an advantage today as drivers when we're going into a new company. And I would suggest that everybody do this before you even talk to the recruiter. When you're thinking of going to a new company, go online. The internet, again, I've said it before in other videos, the internet is a fantastic tool when it comes to this. When I want to know something about a company, I pretend like I'm a customer. And I will Google the hell out of that company. I will find out as much as I possibly can. And there are avenues to find out everything you want to know about a company. I can find out where they run, primarily what jurisdictions, what areas. They run the Midwest, they run the South, they run the East. I can find out who their customers are. For the most part, most companies try to keep that secluded and try to keep that secret, but if you're careful, you can, and you know what you're doing, you can find out little bits and pieces. Find out as much as you can. That way when you're standing there or sitting there at the table with the recruiter and he wants to feed you a line, it's like the old saying I used to say with my children. Assume that when I ask you a question, assume that I already know the answer. And I'd like to say that to a recruiter one day, I really would. Don't lie to me. Don't feed me any crap. Tell me what the deal is here. You need me to drive your truck and you need me to do a job. Tell me honestly what I can expect. If you're a good company and you're gonna take care of me, then fine, you got nothing to hide. Tell me everything I wanna know. If you're trying to hide something, I'm gonna find out. Or shortly thereafter, I'm gonna find out and you're gonna have another empty truck. That's just a quick thing. I always investigate the company that I'm working for. So quickly in closing, just a couple of quick points. Your pay, your benefits, your equipment, who you're working for, recruiters and dispatchers. Leave a comment down below and don't forget to hit the
You can't say that word.
I can't say it. I couldn't do it last time either. Subscribe. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button.